The Battle of Gravelines, fought on July 13, 1558, at the town of the same name between Calais and Dunkirk, was the decisive battle of the Fifth War between the Habsburgs and the Valois, 1551-1559. Philip II, King of Spain's 1557 offensive in Picardy had culminated in the Battle of Saint-Quentin in August, where the Habsburg army commanded by Emmanuel Philibert of Savoy inflicted a heavy defeat on the French forces. Instead of directing on Paris, however, the Spanish imperial forces concentrated on taking Saint-Quentin, stubbornly defended by the few troops of Admiral de Coligny and a few Franco-Scottish reinforcements who arrived to liberate it. The siege, although crowned with success, proved to be long and costly for the Habsburgs. Philip decided not to move on Paris, which allowed the French to regain the initiative. The King of France, Henry II, recalled the forces of the Duke of Guise from Italy, which was at the time threatening the Spanish territories of Naples. Instead of attempting to recover Saint-Quentin, Henry decided to move towards the sea, and in January 1558 the Duke of Guise attacked Calais, the last English stronghold in France, conquering it just in 8 days, thanks to the bad state of the fortifications and the inadequate garrison. Mary Tudor, Philip's wife, had in fact declared war on France the year before, more in response to the Franco-Scottish raids on English ports than for her husband's requests, sending reinforcements to the Hispano Imperials. The loss of Calais thus deprived the Anglo-Habsburgs of an important foothold on the continent, which the French immediately used to threaten the neighboring and now vulnerable Habsburg domains. In fact, the French planned the invasion of the Netherlands, which would be attacked to the south and north respectively by two armies. The first, commanded by the Duke of Guise, captured Thionville on June the 22nd after a 3-week siege, penetrated Luxembourg in July. The second, commanded by Marshal de Termes, invaded Flanders along the coast in the direction of Newport, from where it was supposed to threaten Brussels. Along the way, de Termes devastated Dunkirk and Berck, but was forced to retreat on news of the arrival of a strong Habsburg army commanded by the Comte d'Egmont, outnumbering his own. The French retreat was slowed down by the weight of the booty, and on July the 13th, the sand dunes between Dunkirk and Gravelines, de Termes found the road to Calais blocked by the Habsburg army, which had anticipated him in the march. De Termes could not escape the fight, blocked from behind by the river, on the right flank by the sea, and on the right by baggage and canals. The French army consisted of about 10,500 French and German mercenaries and a considerable amount of artillery, while the Habsburg army numbered 12,000 Spanish and Imperials and was superior in cavalry. The French lined up along the Aar river with the cavalry and artillery in an advanced position and the infantrymen in the second line. The Comte d'Egmont deployed his cavalry on the flanks and the infantry in the center. Despite the Habsburg advantage, the battle was bitter and of uncertain outcome. French cannons compensated the numerical disparity, while Spanish arquebusiers pelted the cavalry and foot soldiers entrenched behind baggage. The battle was resolved by an unexpected event. A squadron of English ships, which happened to pass by chance in front of the coast, attracted by the shelling, approached the beach, also going up part of the Aar. The British naval artillery opened fire on the right flank of the French formation, made up of German mercenaries who broke and surrendered. At this point, the Comte d'Egmont, taking advantage of the disorder in the French lines caused by the shooting of English cannons and Spanish arquebuses, led a cavalry charge leading the Anglo-Habsburgs to victory. At least 1,000 French army soldiers died in combat, drowned or massacred by local peasants who had suffered their ravages, and another 5,000, including many noblemen, captured, including de Termes. D'Egmont, due to lack of supplies, did not have the strength to recover Calais, but his victory equally forced the Duke of Guise to hastily return to Picardy to defend the French territories. France seemed to be in danger again when the army of Emmanuel Philibert of Savoy united with that of Egmont, constituting a force of tens of thousands of men. But Philip II and Henry II were bankrupt, and their domains exhausted by the continuation of the clash. In September, Charles V died in Extremadura, and in November in London Mary Tudor. The following year, the Peace of Cateau-Cambrésis finally came to be signed, which definitely ended the 70-year conflict between the Habsburgs and the Valois. The Treaty of Edinburgh of 1560 ended the Franco-British hostilities. The Battle of Gravelines constitutes one of the first instances of naval artillery intervention in a land battle, and its similarity to the Battle of the Dune 100 years later, both for its involvement and for the involvement of land and naval troops, is striking. Off the coast between Marduk and Gravelines was fought in 1639 the decisive battle of the 80 Years' War, which saw the victory of the Dutch Admiral Arpelston Tromp over the Spanish fleet.